Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. One thing that I heard on a pretty common basis at this past ICAST show that I was at was how expensive some baits are getting. So it gave me the idea of doing a video to talk about some of the more expensive baits in certain categories that I would really recommend to you guys out there so that maybe it helps you choose wisely when it comes to purchasing some baits. Because the reality is, baits are getting very expensive. Whether they're soft baits or hard baits, we're seeing the prices really increase dramatically, especially over the last couple of years. So, having said that, there's nothing more frustrating, in my opinion, than buying something that you're disappointed with. So, I figured I'd do a video not necessarily to talk about the baits that I would stay away from, but really the baits that I would highly recommend because they are a premium price. So, for example, one of those baits is this guy right here. So, this is a Brian's Prop Bee. This is a handmade custom bait that, in my opinion, excels during the summertime if you're fishing around bluegill beds. It just is a very, very good bait. Not all prop baits out there meet the standards that I expect, but this is one that I think you would probably find most people out there would say is one of the best, if not the best. So, the Brian's prop baits are phenomenal. Now, the thing I will say is because they're custom made or handmade, they're expensive. These sell for 20, I think 28, 29, $30 on Tackle Warehouse. And I'll put links for all of these up there in case you guys do want to purchase one. But it's a absolute dynamite killer summertime bait around bluegill beds, bluegill type areas. And the thing is, this category of baits generally is a more expensive category of baits because a lot of them are handmade or low quantity produced baits. So there, if you were to go look at the different prop style baits out there, you'll find that that price point is kind of in line with a lot of the other ones that are out there. But this is one that I highly recommend. Another one that you see me talk about on the channel a lot, and I get comments from viewers regarding how expensive they are, is this guy. This is a Vixen by Reaction Innovations. It's a walking topwater bait. So, when you look at it, this one sells for roughly $25, depending where you're looking. And when you compare it to a lot of other walking topwater baits, you can buy others for under $10. So you're paying double, if not a little bit more for the Vixen. But again, it's one of those baits that just generates strikes for me. And it's not just me. There is a absolute loyal, hardcore following of this bait out there. And for me, I've got them and it tends to be pretty much a tournament style bait for me. If I feel like, I'm going to throw a walking topwater bait, this is generally the one I throw because I have that much confidence in it. But the reality is, I'm going to pay extra for that bait. But in my opinion, it's well worth it. And it's like I said, it's not necessarily just hard baits, a lot of soft baits as well. So, for instance, this is one that I talk about on the channel quite a bit, but it's also one of my absolute favorites for a lot of different techniques, whether you're drop shotting, hover rigging. You can do a lot of things with this. It's the Bass Tricks Flash Tricks, but you get six of them. I think it's six of them in a pack, and they sell for on Tackle Warehouse. I think they're 10.75 for that pack. So each one is almost $2 each. The reality is, though, when you look at them, they're extremely high quality baits that at the same time are unlike any other baits out there in this category. So, to me, because of the action, because of the fish catching ability, well worth spending that money on it. It's one of my favorite baits to throw on the hover rig. You guys know that if you watch my channel on a regular basis, but you do pay a little bit of a premium for the craftsmanship. That's just how it is. One of my other favorite baits, especially if I'm drop shotting or fishing smallmouth, is this guy. This is a Berkeley Max Scent flatworm. Just an absolute dynamite bait. It's smallmouth candy. The thing with the Max Scent series, so the purple bags, is you tend to pay a little bit of a premium. They run $9 a bag, and it has to do with the formula, how they go ahead, put it together. And the reality is they call fish in. The fish eat these things up, not just the flatworm, but the entire series. I throw the Berkeley Max Scent General. That's my go-to soft stick bait. I won the Mississippi River event on it last year, and I truly believe that it calls the fish in. And when the fish bite it, they hold on to it longer. The Max Scent Creature Hog. I mean, for me, I really, really like that Max Scent series, but you pay a little bit more. You pay $8.99 a bag for it, and that's what they come up to. Another one that I really like, and this is kind of the pros' favorite right now, is the Fish Roller series by Raid. This is the super one, so it's a little bit bigger, but they've also got the standard sizes, and these tend to run quite a bit. These retail, depending on size, $10 to $15 a pack at Tackle Warehouse. But again, they are catching fish, and the way these things are designed and the way that they move in the water tends to trigger more bites. So for me, it's all about trying to capitalize on choosing baits that have that it factor. I mean, that's how I would describe it. Not all baits have the it factor, but some baits, whether, they were designed to, nail that it factor, or they just happen to stumble into having that it factor, the reality is these baits all have them. So for me, granted, it's my professional career, I'm going to look to purchase the baits, whether they're expensive or not, that I feel like gives me the advantage. I realize out there, not everybody's in that same boat. If you're a fun fisherman, you don't necessarily have to have the premium out there. But if you're looking to generate one, two, three, four extra bites throughout the day, sometimes having those baits that have the it factor are the ones that are going to give you that advantage. So these are definitely some of them that I really, really like. These are all ones that I would say are at a higher end of some of the categories that they're in. But again, I feel like it's worth it. And honestly, if you take advantage of some of the sales that are out there, Tackle Warehouse has like 20% off sales multiple times throughout the year. If you buy and stock up at that point, you're going to save quite a bit of money as well, just by waiting for some of those opportunities. So I hope that answers the question. There's a whole lot more expensive baits out there that I use, and there's a whole lot out there that I don't like. So I'll probably at some point talk about some of the ones that I think are not worth the investment. But for right now, these are ones that I highly recommend that really fall into the summer category that I think if you guys were to purchase, you definitely would be satisfied with. So let me know in the comment section, what are some of the baits that you feel like you pay a premium for, but also have that it factor that give you an advantage or lead to a few extra bites throughout the day. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support, and stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.